Okay, we ready?
I'm ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Complex Couple podcast. Today, we've decided to tackle the topic of complacency. Complacency in, I would say, all relationships, but particularly it happens in marriages, and even more particularly with all people, especially marriages in a pandemic. What do you think? Do you agree?
Yes, definitely.
All right. So do you want to lead us off in this conversation? Do you have things you want to say?
Well, they're gonna. You know what? You're doing such a good job with the introduction. I'm just
Oh,
gonna sit
man.
here and. Well, yeah, you should just
Okay,
throw something out there. Let's just.
throw something out there. Okay, so we've been on self-isolation mode for, I've lost track of how many days. Week? 10 days? Aside from going to the grocery store, things like that. And I find myself starting to get a little complacent. Like I haven't even taken a shower yet today. And I think, well, I should go take a shower, but then I think, but kind of what's the point? Like I'm just staying at home
Well,
and forget about makeup. Why bother?
yeah, I mean, if you want that special attention,
Oh,
gotta, you
I
gotta
gotta
have
have the
that
makeup, do
shower. I
I?
mean, well, not the makeup, but at least the
I
shower. I mean, like going to bed with a trash bag. Who wants to do that?
Well, did you shower yesterday?
Yeah, actually, I'm guilty. I didn't. And when I got in the shower this morning, or I should say maybe less than 2 hours ago, I'm in the shower and I almost had forgotten how it feels to be in a hot shower cleaning up because I've been complacent.
Yeah.
So it dawned on me that, yeah, you can't forget those little things because you're kind of like, well, what's the point? Well, I mean, there is a point to taking a shower. It makes you feel good, makes you feel alive, right?
Well, yeah, and it's, I want to be presentable for the people around me, particularly you, my husband.
Yeah.
I don't want to turn into a scumbag,
Forget
really.
I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm
well, you
out
have
of here.
nowhere to go.
Oh,
You're
yes,
not
I
out.
do. I'll go hang out at the bus stop.
Are the
Yeah, with a
buses even
sign.
running? I don't even
No.
know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So, yeah, complacency. So, I think it's an easy fall to trap into in this situation.
I think you mean a trap to fall into.
What'd I say?
A fall to trap into.
See, East Providence education. I
I knew
hate
what you
that
meant,
school.
baby.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that. But yeah, um, we have technology to keep us busy, and
Hmm.
sometimes that can be like way too addictive. I mean, look at the amount of time we've been spending on the computer,
I know.
but we're not going outside as much. We're not getting exercise as much as we should. So yeah, we're falling into these behavior patterns that are almost kind of like subconsciously or subconsciously we're falling into them, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's really easy for us to self-isolate during self-isolation where we're both on our computers doing our own thing. And like we talked about last night, we intended to dance around the living room, have our own little dance party, and then we totally forgot and blew it off. I would say that's a form of complacency.
Yeah, I took the moment for granted myself because I remember I said that to you, and we enjoy it so much. And
Hmm.
then I went upstairs, and you're laying on the couch, kind of fading out, and
True
I was
story.
mad at someone else for
That's
breaking what
right.
I consider lockdown. So I kind of lost track of it. But when I was in the shower today, making my body look extra special for you for tonight, I said to myself, I said, I'm going to make it a point to put the dog in the truck so that Jennifer and I can dance around the
Hmm.
living room for a little while.
Yeah. Because the dog, for whatever reason, just freaks out if we hug or kiss or dance or anything. So he has
Yeah.
to go out into the truck.
Yeah, he's got a kind of a different personality. So I just had to deal with another situation with him. So he's always kind of surprising me. But yeah, with the intimacy part with Anubis, it's always the same old routine. You know, he gets
Hmm.
jealous. I mean, he's not trying to ruin the moment. He's trying to be in the moment. But Jennifer and I were never up for threesomes, were we, baby?
Oh,
No,
nope.
no.
Got to
We're
draw the
one
line
on one.
somewhere.
We're
Yeah,
drawing a line.
drawing a line.
I can barely handle what I got anyways. So, holy smokes. By the way, I'm going to have to put some more of that cream on my back later. So,
I don't know where to go with that. I'm not even sure what we mean
just
by
keep
that.
going.
All
Yeah.
right, all right.
I'm not sure if I know what it means.
Okay. So, and it's not just in marriage, but it's also, we've got other people in our household. My mother lives here. We have a college student living with us. And I don't know, I guess I just don't want to turn into I don't know what the right word is. A scumbag. That's the only one word I can think of. A scuzzy person, not a scumbag, but just, I don't want to be scuzzy.
Yeah. So, but we are doing things like we're more interactive together as far as we cook together, we clean together,
Hmm.
right? Uh, what else do we do?
Yeah, so these are some of the things that if we are mindful and we're thinking on purpose, ways that we don't want to be complacent, right? And so cooking together, that is something that is kind of new for us. Well, new for
Mhm.
you. That isn't, it's really something in your wheelhouse that you've been that interested in before.
No, I mean, until, well, coming back from Florida here, I've been a lot more engaging in everything in the kitchen. So, uh, and I've enjoyed it because we typically have really fun conversations when we're cooking together. You know, we tend to laugh when we have a glass of wine, and and it's nice that we're creating these. We are eating very healthy, but we're creating these nice dishes to eat, and of course, the conversation is almost as good as the food sometimes, and vice versa.
Yeah. Well, and I'm obviously cooking a lot more than we've experienced in our relationship together because we like to go out. We like to go out to eat.
Yeah, we spent a
And
lot of money going to restaurants over the
and
over the
when I
last
work all day, I don't always want to cook. But being home all day and not having a lot of work to do, I love being in the kitchen and I love preparing food. Of course, it's out of necessity right now, but I'm also enjoying it. And that helps fight the complacency in my mind.
And the other thing that we're not doing that probably a lot of people, we're not binge watching TV shows. We're not sitting on a couch all day long
It's true.
watching programs or getting, too drawn into the news. We're paying attention to what's going on, but we're not sitting there for hours on end, being exposing ourselves
Right.
because it's not healthy. So, Jennifer has her things that she does in her office. And of course, I've got some painting to do and stuff in my office a little bit, but I mean,
The man cave.
the man cave, the man cave needs some TLC. I'll tell
It
you that
really
right
does.
now.
It
I
really
mean, when
does.
you look at that right there, it's like, what is that, Keith?
Well, honey, we're doing a podcast. Not everybody can see what I can see.
I forgot. I keep, I have no frame of scope of what we're doing from day to day, but you can't see this, but behind me, behind this fence that I put up, I've got 3 wild pigs that are sleeping right now. So,
Like you have a fence down there?
yeah, so that keeps the pigs in. I'm gonna have to slaughter them in about 3 weeks when we run out of
Great.
food. I hear them now. Oh, they're waking up.
Um, okay, so that's not to say we're not watching any TV. Okay, I'm going to get the conversation back to the point at hand. How are we trying to not be complacent? We are trying to shower regularly. Even if we skip a day, we'll shower the next day. We are cooking together. We are watching movies from time to time, but we're not binge watching. I think that's your point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We went on a walk today around the neighborhood, went by Stephen King's house, watched an artist creating an amazing sculpture from a dead tree outside Stephen King's house. It was pretty phenomenal.
Incredible work.
Yeah,
To do that with a chainsaw and tools by hand, it's a real art.
absolutely. Absolutely. And we had an opportunity to talk to the sculptor. He's very thankful that he has this job, that he has work right now at a time when so many people don't.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah. We're trying to also, I would say, be creative. We're trying to write. We're learning about video editing and podcasting. And for me, speaking for myself, it keeps my mind occupied so that I don't have too much free time.
Yeah, and you know, I initially when I got here, I didn't have my computer set up. So realizing what was going to take place, you know, Jennifer even said, Keith, maybe you should, you know, get your computer set up and prepare for, you know, to keep yourself stimulated in the
Because let's be
computer.
honest, I didn't want to spend all my day with you, honey.
That's
Love you.
true. I know. I love you too. Sometimes I can't spend all day with myself, but yeah, so I was able to set it up. And the other thing is, if you're going to do stuff, for me, I want something that's going to stimulate my brain. And the internet is a way to research subject matter that you enjoy,
Mm-hmm.
not just the bad news, but, you know, just doing the things that, you know, you might find interesting. There's so much entertainment out there and knowledge. It's just like a giant library without leaving the home. So, you know,
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it, and I'm enjoying my location. I've got my little cubby hole, but the one thing we probably haven't been uh, as dedicated to is our physical health, you know, because we both
Yes,
love to work out.
we do. I have gotten so complacent about exercise because I think about there are things I could be doing. Planet Fitness is, posting a 20-minute workout video every single day on Facebook Live. Am I doing them? No. I could be doing YouTube yoga. I love yoga with Adrian. I'm
Mhm.
not doing it though. We could go out in the garage and work out together.
I mean,
Not doing that either.
we're not, I mean, I just came back from Florida after being down there for 6 months. So my motivation to be out in the cold right now is just not kicked in. But, you know, we both typically, Jennifer and I, we like to work out just about every day.
Hmm.
Maybe for Jennifer, it's every other day because she has a busier schedule. But for me, I typically like go to the gym every single day. And I haven't been doing that since I got back up here. So we're still eating healthy though. And, you know, we're not sitting around eating junk food all day and laying on the couch. You know, we're moving around the house and, you know, keeping busy. So,
Hmm.
but I still feel a level of complacency even within myself,
Oh
even by
yeah,
what I'm doing,
I feel
you
it
know.
too.
So, mm-hmm.
100%.
Yeah.
I think it's really easy in times like this to get a little complacent with I love yous too, because we see each other all day long. It's really easy to take that for granted. Of course, I love you because I'm here. I'm I'm nearby. You're nearby. We have each other. But you put a little note on my desk yesterday. I'll show it up. I know people can't see it, but it's the I heart you. The I love you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love those
Sometimes,
messages.
yeah, sometimes I'll be down here and I might be down here for an hour and a half or something like that, or any amount of time. And I'll just have this urge to go upstairs, especially if I end up watching something relating to the current situation. And I just feel driven to run upstairs and grab a hold of my wife and look at her, make that eye contact and give her a smooch and tell her I love her. Because the reality is that none of us are safe from this. And it feels good to do that because it is something you could take for granted. We're in the house, we wake up together, we go to sleep together, we're here all day. And then, that intimacy, whether or not it's physical or mental or even verbal, can be taken for granted. So I'm trying to remind myself that the person sitting upstairs in that office is my favorite person in the world. And I want to let her know that I love her any moment I can get without, of course, smothering her, which has been my MO for a while sometimes.
No, you are really good. You're better than I am at that verbal communication. The remembering to say I love you.
Yeah, it could be that I'm more friskier than you too, and I'm just trying to get points in for the night. That could be it
I
too. I'm
know.
like,
I'm
oh man,
pretty sure that plays a part.
yeah, it does. It does. At least 25%. You know what I mean? I, yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got a unicorn, and I like riding it. So you know what I mean? Got to throw those I love yous out there.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. I I love my unicorn.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So where are we on the time? Are we getting close? I mean,
We're only halfway done.
oh man, we got plenty of time.
Mhm.
So let's talk about complacency, but also throwing in there. Let's talk about, like, I've read so much stuff. How many times should you go grocery shopping, and what's the best day to go, and that kind of thing, because our situation is a little bit different than probably a lot of our listeners. How many subscribers we got now? 6 million?
Something like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, we were just talking about that this morning. So we've been going to the grocery store roughly about every 72 hours, give or take, right?
Was
Not
that 3
every
days?
day.
Sorry,
See,
I'm not
so
a military
hey,
person.
I
I
don't
don't
listen.
operate in hours.
Listen, I didn't know you had to be a military person to go 24, 48, 72, 96. I didn't know. Must be her school too. How many degrees does she have?
Stop it.
Right.
I don't know. I don't think in hours. I think in days.
I know. So for
2
3
or 3
days,
days.
yeah, 2 or 3 days, we typically go grocery shopping. But now, reading more stuff, people are starting to get a little more serious. And the stores, the people we do talk to, the shelves are empty.
Yes, I know. We were last time we were at the grocery store, there was no flour. There it depends on which grocery store we've gone to, right? Some has had no bread, some has had no toilet paper. That seems to be a common theme, obviously. Some has had limited meat.
Mhm.
Have had.
Yeah, I was wondering, is that
I'm
a
not
proper
using
sentence?
the
I'm
right,
like,
like, I
oh,
know it's not sounding right as it's coming out of my mouth.
I think I heard that on a short bus when I was a kid.
Some have had.
I
Sorry.
ain't had no
Haven't
lunch
had.
today.
Oh my God.
No, it's all right.
Yeah, my brain was like, stop talking.
Yeah,
Couldn't
because
do it.
I was sitting here. I'm like, that's not my wife. Who's that? Who's on the other end of that computer? So, is she from West Virginia?
Oh,
Oops.
no offense to anyone from West Virginia.
No, 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 no,
Come
no.
on now.
I used to party in West Virginia all the time.
Okay.
Bluefield, Redbud. I got a lot of love for West Virginia. So, anyways, don't take that personally, West Virginia. Still love you. So, that could be edited out. I'm
Yeah,
looking
we
at my
might have to
wife
edit that
going,
out.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think that one's gone, boys. It was funny for some. For West Virginia, it sucks. All right. So, yeah, we're still talking about grocery stores and shopping and that kind of thing.
So, like, how does that relate to complacency? That we haven't been taking the pandemic seriously enough, and we're complacent about it, so we just go to the store, and we've like, re-swizzled that lately. Like, ooh, let's not go so often.
Yeah, and the other thing is, like, just taking it for granted. It's not about just when you go to the store. It's just like, oh, we don't got nothing. There's nothing to do today. Let's just go to the grocery store and pick up a few things. Like it's a common day, and it's
I
not,
know.
because we don't know if when we do go to the store if they're going to have what we need. We don't know if it's going to be like crazy with people. The other day I went to Best Buy to pick up what I thought I was just going to walk in, grab a quick TV and walk out. Well, there was nothing even remotely familiar with the situation that I found. I got there and they weren't allowing people in the store. They were actually having a salesperson come up to your car. It was like a drive-through, and you told this person what you wanted, and somehow they would go in, find it, and bring it out to you. It's a very slow process. But when I saw it, I was like, I'm not doing this, so I left. But everything is, you can't take things for granted the way you did. You can't go to the store. You can't. I mean, we just went for a walk, and I was thinking, I saw this place that we get pizzas from, and I was thinking, wow, I would love to walk in there right now and buy a meatball grinder. You can't do it. It's everything is harder. Everything is
Yeah.
more complicated, So this relaxed or complacent attitude that we tend to have when it relates to getting the things that we want exactly when we want, that's kind of over right now.
No, yeah.
You
I know.
know?
Well, think about the flower delivery.
Yeah.
Flowers delivery. I got a phone call today that someone had sent flowers to the house, and I was like, well, do I accept them? Do I do I want them? Because I just don't want contact with other people right now. But then I think, oh my gosh, what a beautiful gesture that someone sent us flowers because we
Mhm.
got married. I don't want to turn them away either.
No, I mean, it's a really nice thing. I mean, it's
You
just,
know.
my father didn't even send me flowers from Florida. And that little remark is for you, Frank. If you hear me out there, you could send me something for my wedding. You know what I mean? Even a roll of toilet paper I could use right now. So, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ,
but it's making us think of those things that we never in a million years have ever had to think about before, ever.
No, no. I mean,
Yeah.
it's changed everything. And I think, like we talk about complacency, this is not the time to be complacent,
Mhm.
especially now, because I don't see us going back to a normal routine for a long,
For
long
a long
time.
time.
And I just think that it's going to require more effort because, you don't want to stay home and eat shit food and binge watch and fall into these, I don't know, that existence that doesn't have any
I know.
substance. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not speaking for everyone, but I don't want to end up gaining a bunch of weight, being unhealthy, and having my head clouded over with just negativity. I mean, there's a lot of negative things in the world right now with this virus and how the world is reacting and people dying, but
Yeah.
there's also a lot of other positive things happen. You have to search those out sometimes when headline news is nothing about
Yeah.
the numbers of people that are dying or confirmed cases. So I'm making it an effort to break away from that and find some fun news and some fun articles to read.
Mhm. But let's be honest, we have it pretty easy, right? We're in a household with 4 adults and we have plenty of space in a good sized house. I have a lot of empathy for parents who have kids at home, no matter what age they are. And I think I would probably feel like putting my kid in front of the TV for half the day if I
Yes.
have work to do, if I just need a break, especially if they're really young and they demand your attention. Like,
Mm.
I'm not sure how I might be handling this situation at that time in my life when my
Yeah,
kids
I
were.
mean that's a great point because I remember when my kids were little and my wife at the time would go to work and I was home all day and I really had to think about how am I going to keep these kids
Mhm.
you know, uh, busy, actively busy, but in a productive way. We're going to color, we're going to read, and day after day, just having to deal with that just a few days a week.
Mhm.
I mean, it required some effort. So now with these kids home all day long, 24/7,
And you can't
yeah,
even go to the playground because the playground
no,
equipment isn't safe. I saw
yeah,
that sign and I had my mind blown. I hadn't really thought about it.
hmm
Kids need that physical activity and to be outside and be with each other, and they can't do that either.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
I don't know how to avoid that kind of complacency when I don't know, you just need a break from your kids.
yeah, I can't even fathom something like that. Now, I mean, I take it for granted that I'm in this, large house.
Mhm.
I'm down here in the basement. No one's bothering me. I can just do whatever I want to do. I've got plenty of personal space to myself. And that's something else that for a lot of people now that they're confined to wherever they live and they may live in small quarters with more people. I mean, that is really trying. Just hearing
Yeah.
like I know how my wife is. If she hears my voice for more than like 40 minutes straight, her ears get big and they turn red. That tells me it's time to go back to the basement. I'm making I'm making it, a joke out of it, but how many people are stuck in tight quarters
Yeah.
and you just can't get away,
Right.
from you know
And what if you're with people you don't like, other grown-ups, other adults, it could be, I hate to say it, but some spouses or adult children or parents.
hmm
I I
yeah,
I I, I don't know.
yeah.
I,
I mean, it's I can't. There's things going on in this world right now that first off, I don't even want to imagine because that's how that's how uh, uncomfortable it feels for me to even try to think to put myself in a
mhm.
situation like that.
Oh, no kidding.
We were walking 20 minutes ago, and
Yeah.
I mean, not 20 minutes ago, an hour ago, and it dawned on me just, what do you do if you've got $25 in your pocket and you've got a couple of kids and you're a single parent?
I don't know. I
You
don't
know,
know.
you better pray that you have a TV and a connection just to keep the kids busy while you try
And
to figure this shit out.
And meanwhile, Congress hasn't figured out how to send Americans any support. I mean, they're still bickering.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just a lot of the stuff that just goes on
Yeah.
is just mind boggling. But, for like, let's be honest, we can't change anything from our basements in the
Hmm.
sense that they can. The only thing that we can do is continue to do what we need to do to protect ourselves, our loved ones, and to try to be happy and
Hmm.
get back to the basics. Because, 200 years ago, you had families that were living in this country that there was no electricity, there was no mail,
Yeah.
and people basically, they worked all day in the fields, gardening and doing what they needed to do. And at night, it was basically you had candlelight, you had dinner, you might have read a book, or you got to talk to each other, and you went to bed and tried to stay healthy and strong because that was your life every day for your
Hmm.
whole existence, And now, in a way, I mean, we don't have the lifestyles that we had a
No.
month ago. I mean, I was out there
Right.
in Florida. I was walking on a beach, swimming, riding a motorcycle, partying in tiki bars, and here I am in Maine
Hmm.
in the
It's the same
basement.
thing, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's exactly the same. No, I'm teasing.
yeah, I know. But wow, it's
Yeah.
it's it's almost culture shock, So
Oh,
uh,
almost like it's 100% culture shock.
yeah,
Not only is the lifestyle different here than there on a good day, now we've got this completely different situation.
and it's still new. It's this. I mean, we're only in
Yes.
really like the first week or 2 weeks of where we're at now, but
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna have to be creative to come
Mm-hmm.
up with things to do so that we don't feel complacent. Because the
Yeah.
last thing we want to do, and I think anyone would agree, is we do not want to argue and become
Right.
bitter or
Right.
resentful of each other. You know.
Exactly. And I think that goes back to remembering to say I love you and give your loved ones a hug or a kiss, and pausing a minute before you respond if you feel yourself getting a little angry or
Mhm.
or worked up in some way. It's
Yeah,
not
I
easy.
mean,
This is not easy stuff.
no, and it's definitely not easy for like you and I in the sense that we we're extremely, I don't want to say overly independent, but we have a certain way we
Hmm.
live our lives. We incorporate each other into it. But I'm an individual. She's an individual. She has her, there's times where she'll say, "Oh, I need to get out of the house and go for a ride." And I'm at a point now, I don't even ask her because I've learned that that ride does not incorporate a four-legged creature and a doofus 10-year-old. So I, I don't take it personally. I'm like, see you later.
Yeah.
But now we don't even have that option of really getting away at the level we want. I mean, we can take a drive, but
Hmm.
you know, you can only drive so much, and how much gas do you want to waste,
Right.
and
Right.
that kind of shit. So,
Yeah.
we have to stay creative on how we approach our days, and if we do have stress, we made a decision a few months ago that if we get to a point of misunderstanding, and when you're around each other all the time, you could find yourself getting into that dark place from time to time. We have a code word and we say, "Stop, I love you."
Hmm.
And that brings it back down. And
And I think having that code word brought us a lot of comfort, although we haven't yet used it.
we haven't,
But it's
you
out
know,
there.
it's
Yeah.
out there if we have to,
Yeah.
because there's moments to where, if it's one thing if if you have no issues in communicating, and I'm sure there's relationships playing out there where, they just get it. But for Jennifer and I, sometimes, we have little issues. Now, one of them is that I don't hear so well. So sometimes I misinterpret what she said, and
Or
that
he
can
talks
create,
over me because he doesn't even realize I'm talking.
yeah.
Yeah.
Notice how I stopped because I can hear you with my
You can
headphones
hear
on.
me at those
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
They're like giant hearing aids, right?
We're
So,
talking about your headphones.
yeah.
Go
How are we
right
doing
over
on
your ears.
how
Yeah,
are
I
we
was
doing
just
on
gonna say
time, hon?
we need to wind down. We're right at the 30-minute mark.
All right. Well, I'm ready to
Okay.
say goodbye. So everyone
All
take
right.
care of yourselves, and I hope you enjoyed my part of the podcast. Um, I don't
But
know
not
about
hers.
Jennifer's.
Yeah.
You know what I
Good
mean?
luck with
So
her
hey,
side.
for us men, we're knocking it out of the ballpark.
Really?
Make
Really?
sure you, yeah, make sure you subscribe. Give me a thumbs up at least, okay?
I love you too.
I adore you, baby. I adore you.
All right. Peace out.
Peace out. I'll see you later.